Hi everyone. In this demo, we will deploy two Convoy clusters to get two Kubernetes clusters in version 1.15.2, and then we'll deploy Istio on top of these clusters, and we'll set up like Istio in multi-cluster mode with two control planes, and we'll show how to use it to get like bursting and disaster recovery and so on. So let's start by just deploying two Convoy clusters. So we just deploy Convoy clusters with the default value by running this command. Do that twice. Okay, so we now have our two clusters up and running, one here, one there, and we have also the UI there. We can access the dashboard of each cluster easily from there. You see the version of Kubernetes 1.15.2, and the idea is now to put in place this deployment with Istio on each cluster, one Istio control plane per cluster, and using the gateway to have microservices communicating together. So just go here in the Istio directory, and I have some scripts ready. So the kubeconfig for each of my clusters, so I can easily run the kubectl command where I want. And then I just create the Istio system namespace of the first cluster, create the secrets, and enable Istio. So and just wait for my 23 CRDs to be created. So I just go there and I can just do that here. And I can follow that from the dashboard here. I'll see an Istio system namespace being created. Perhaps I've been a little bit too fast. And here I can start to see my CRDs being created by these jobs. Take a look, it should be finished, and I see my 23 CRDs. So I can now create a YAML definition file here that I call multi-cluster 1 using Helm, and then I will just apply the templates and be able to see the pods being created. So just like a basic deployment of Istio, and then again I can follow the deployment there. Come now. So Istio is ready now on this cluster. So I can just do the same, exactly the same for the second cluster. Can just save everything. So we can also follow the deployment of this one on that cluster on the dashboard. You just need to wait a few minutes. Okay, so this cluster is deployed as well. So now we want the name resolution to go through Istio for the global suffix. So for that, what we do is that we update the core DNS config map to redirect all the requests for the suffix global to the core DNS which is running on Istio, not the one running on Kubernetes itself. So we do that for the first cluster here. Then we do exactly the same for the second cluster. So that the global requests are also going to the Istio core DNS for that cluster. So that's it for the configuration. Now we can take a look at what are the advantages and the nice features you get out of this setup. So first of all, we'll start one service, one microservice on cluster 1 and one on cluster 2, and make them communicating together. Like you can see it being done there, this service communicating with this service using the Istio gateway to do so. So we first create this pod here, and then we'll get the pod name using that command line. And this pod is created in a namespace called foo. So I just check that this is working well. Yep. So then we create a namespace called bar and another microservice on the second cluster this time, like you can see here. So then we get the DNS name of the Istio gateway of the second cluster, and we check that we have the right value here. And now we can create a service entry for http bin-bar.global, and basically it will be http bin.bar.global, and we say that we want to send a request to the Istio gateway of the second cluster that will allow the first microservice to communicate with the second one that is on the other cluster, and we'll be able to check that very quickly just with running this command on the pod on the first cluster to communicate with the one on the second cluster using the global suffix DNS name. And we get a 200 OK, which is fine. So the next step, so basically this is what you can normally see with the demo that is described in the website, and from there we are building new stuff to show some interesting other feature you can get. So one thing you can do is that you can create the sleep pod on the second cluster as well on the same namespace. This time trying to get the Istio DNS name of the first cluster and checking that it worked well. And now we'll update the service entry we created before, but in this case we will indicate the two gateways so that we'll get the request round robin across these two microservices, one that is on the first cluster and one that is on the second cluster. And obviously we need to create also the HTTP bin on the first cluster. So you get these two microservices running on both sides. And to be able to see where the requests are going, we will enable the access logs so that we see where the requests have been sent, just to validate that the requests are sent in both clusters. So to do that, we just use the pod on the first cluster, the sleep pod on the first cluster, and we'll send four requests to this second microservice, and we should see now in the logs of the two clusters that we got requests. So just sending these four requests first, and then checking the access logs on the first cluster, and then the access logs on the second cluster. So you see here I got one. Let me send more because it takes some time to activate the access logs. And I think I send my request too fast, so check that again. And I check the access logs on both sides again. Yeah, I see I have two here, two more. So we get request also on the second one, and so now we want to see what happens if we lose a site. So we'll simulate the failure of site 2. So for that we go to AWS. This is the load balancer that is in front of the Istio gateway of the second cluster. So we just go there, and just to simulate it, we will edit the listener, and we'll remove this port here, and this is the current instance port. I'll keep track for recreating it. So just remove that. So the first cluster cannot communicate with the Istio gateway of the second site anymore. And now just write that here. If I send my request from the first site here, I can send my for request and see that even if the second site is not available anymore, it still works because all the requests are sent to the first cluster, because I also have my microservice running there. So I see my 4 requests have been sent to the local cluster. So I can now reconnect my second cluster, just going back to Amazon and recreating it. So in the next step, what we'll do is that we'll show that we can even use different weights. So we can just update the service entry and again we'll be able to send our 4 requests and see that most of the requests should go to the local cluster. And we can see that again with looking at the access logs. But in fact, we need to send a lot more requests just to really see this weight in action. But you have a lot of interesting options available there. If you just go online, you'll be able to take a look at that, and you have a lot of smart way to do the load balancing. So many different strategies can be used. And here, what is interesting as well is to create the same service entry on the second site so that we get an active deployment. So now we can send requests for microservices on any of these sites and have access to Boss microservices. So it's another option. So in this case, what we do that we'll get the sleep pod name that is the one running on the second site. And we'll try to send the request from there. Just validating that now I send the request to from the sleep pod on the second site, and it will round robin to the other microservices on both sides. And again, we can see that with the access logs. We should see requests on both sides. So we see here 2 requests, and we should see the 2 other requests there. Yeah, just here. Now what we'll do is that one thing that is not really nice in this deployment, the way we did it, the way we created the service entry, is that it sends the request to both Istio gateways on both sides. But if you want to send a request to the local cluster, that doesn't make sense to use the Istio gateway DNS name. What you want to use is the cluster IP service, so that it doesn't have to go through the Istio load balancer, so going out of the cluster and in the cluster again. So you just get here the service cluster IP and the corresponding ports, and we can check that again. And then you just create this service entry, but in this case, for the first site, we will use the cluster IP and port, and for the second one, we'll still use the Istio gateway. So we get the sleep pod of the first cluster again, and we send 4 requests and just validate that everything still works well, and we can access the second microservice from the first site. And again, we check the access logs to see that requests should go in both sites. So here we see 2 requests there and 2 requests on the other side. So you can do even much more. As I said, a lot of things are documented there. You can even make sure that the requests are going first to the same rack, and if you cannot go to the same site, and if you cannot go to the other site, you can do a lot of very interesting things. But the idea was really to show, first of all, that we can deploy very easily Istio on Kubernetes deployed by Convoy, that we can very easily deploy that on 2 sites, and that by doing so, we can get high availability, so that if we have a site failure, we continue to have our microservices working well, also bursting by changing the weights, and so on. So it's a really nice design because you have 2 control planes, there is no dependency one on another, so that when you lose one of them, it still works really well. Thank you.